From Amherst to East Aurora, covering all of Western New York, this is News 4, your local news leader.
As we told you at the top of the hour, 50 years ago, the town of Tonawanda became one of the first towns to establish its own paramedic service.
And today, town leaders are making another pioneering addition to its emergency services, launching its own ambulance service. We're joined now by Town Supervisor Joe Emminger. Supervisor, thank you for joining us. We mentioned earlier, but I want to hear it from you. What is the issue with Twin Cities, and how many complaints are you getting to your office about them?
Well, my office doesn't get a lot of complaints, okay, because they wouldn't be calling me on that issue, okay? Our paramedic supervisors, they're the ones who make me aware of the situation.
Okay.
Last year, the town board, myself, became aware that there was an issue with response times. Some is going as long as 30 to 45 minutes or longer when the ambulance is not getting to the scene of a 911 call. Okay, so what that means is that our paramedics, our great paramedics, have to stay there till the ambulance shows up to transport the individual to the hospital, and then when that happens, if they got to stay there that long, they can't go on other calls. So it hurts the person who's being transported, and it hurts perhaps an individual who also needed paramedic assistance.
It's got that snowball effect, and we're hearing about that in communities all over Western New York.
Correct.
Especially like in the city of Buffalo. So you guys decided to do something about it. And what's interesting about this is some communities, including the city of Buffalo, have floated this idea saying, we want to study this, see if it's a possibility. You guys went ahead and did it. Why did it make sense for you guys to do it?
Well, we've been looking at this actually for years. This isn't something that came up, very suddenly, okay? We looked at it 2-3 years ago. We shied away from it at that point because we were advised, I'm not going to say by who, that our insurance costs would go through the roof because of this ambulance service, okay? We revisited the issue last year, around this time last year, when we were told of these delays in response time, and they were just unacceptable, from an elected official standpoint. So we looked at those response times, and we went back to our consultant, and they didn't realize, because we're only one of 3 communities in all of New York State, you've heard me say it before, that has a paramedic unit. One of 3. There's over 900 towns. We're one of 3 that have paid paramedics. He did not realize it at the time. He thought that we were going to get a whole new class. We're not getting a whole new class. We already have our paramedics. We're just adding people to it. So it became much more, he advised us, it became much more advantageous for us to look further. We engaged a study with Fitch and Associates last October, over a year ago. We engaged them. We got the study back this spring in March, and we've been working on it the last 6 months, trying to tweak and figure out how we're going to do it. And we've come a long way. Still got a little ways to go, but Assemblyman Conrad's news today that he was going to get us a grant from New York State for our first ambulance for $250,000. Each ambulance costs $250,000. So that was a big help. We're getting off on the right foot.
Can you talk about how this works logistically through direct billing and things like that? How eventually this will be a money generator for them?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. People are blown away when I tell them how many 911 calls, just 911 calls that we get. Okay, 8,200 calls last year in the town of Tonawanda, village of Kenmore, for 911 calls. 66,000 require ambulance transportation. So 6,000. So what's going to happen is and it's going to require additional EMTs being hired. I announced that this morning, and I'll put it out there for the public. If you're interested in a job, if you're an EMT, please reach out to our town paramedic supervisor, Matt DeRose. And we're trying to we're going to be hiring 15 to 20 people over the course of the next year, and we're interested in that. But we're also, we are not going to be doing the billing directly. We are going to have an outside company who specializes in this service. They're going to get I could be wrong, but I think the figure is 4.9% they're going to get, which is I think it's a good deal for the town. We don't have any of the administrative stuff we have to do. Don't have to pay an additional employee, all the headaches that would go along with that. So it will be a revenue generator, as you indicated, by the end of the first year.
Wow.
And I think it's going to grow by that. We're going to start off slow. 2 ambulances in the first couple months of 2025. That's the goal. In the summer of 2025, get the 3rd ambulance, and then hopefully by this time next year, or maybe by December, we'll add our 4th ambulance. We want a full fleet of 4 ambulances.
Okay, and how do you know that is a full fleet, those 4? And then also, if you only have 2 to start off the year, is there going to be major delays because there's only 2, or are you using Twin Cities to help you supplement?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have to use outside ambulance company to assist us, especially in the beginning, and we will continue that relationship, going forward. So 4 is the number that we have now. That the ambulances that we want to use, they're $250,000 a piece. They're not inexpensive. We think that may be enough, but it may not be enough. But if we get to that point and it's not enough, remember the revenues are going to be generating by the calls. We'll be able to afford it.
All right. Stay tuned, because this is the first of probably what are going to be more towns across our region trying this very thing. Town of Tonawanda Supervisor Joe Emminger, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.